There's going to be a slide for my presentation, and I'm not going to bore you with definitions because General Buba Marwa did a lot of justice to that. So I'm going to go straight to the types of drugs that are commonly abused by young people, because I am focusing on young people. It has been established that about 4 million people engage in substances, and we already know, or we also know that majority of these young people, these people are the young people. So I'm going straight to the next slide. Still move. The next one. Yes, I'm going to be talking about the types of. I chose to use substances because drugs are just a very small proportion of the things that people abuse or people are addicted to. There are things that we do not talk about. We talk about that are not drugs, like the rubber, like the gum, like inhaling soak away. These are not drugs, but then they get the same feeling. And then you also realize that some of these drugs do not fit into any of these categories. Instead, they fit into all the categories. There's this one that is very popular now. General Buba Marwa mentioned Scrushes earlier on. There is the one that is called Ele. Ele has everything. It's all in one substance. It has India hemp, it has tramadol, it has refinol, it has codeine, and then every other thing that is necessary, including alcohol. At the end of the day, you just need to consume a very little amount for you to get the feeling that you desire. And then these are different categories. And next slide, I do not have, because I want to talk about a research that has been done. Yes, these are the causes. Young people are always curious, so curiosity at times can lead them to that. We also have peer influence, and then we have the desire for long-lasting energy. Sometimes we also have the presence of adults or family members who also consume these substances. Now that is not listed there, but it is an important factor because we mentioned earlier on that when we have parents who also consume these substances, it becomes very difficult for us to integrate them into the program because they are the main factor. They are the role models of children. And then we also have, of course, a situation where these individuals also withdraw. Now, there's something I want to correct here. We've been talking about poverty as a major factor. But then I tell people that poverty is not really a factor because in criminology we tell ourselves that poverty will only put you in a condition where you find it very difficult to resist temptation. So as a result, poverty is not really considered as a factor. Instead, we consider other things. And then we also know that the social media has become a very strong influence. They get the information, they want to have the experience, and then they do it on their own, especially when they are in the company of their own peers. And then next slide. Now, for children or for young people who are likely to engage in substance abuse, these are the things that you see with them. Signs of drug use or drug paraphernalia, that is, when you find them with things that are associated with the drugs. Like the paper they use for rolling it, there's a name for it, I don't know. Okay, you know. Now, you see, most times when we talk about this and there are young people around, they always know. And that's the problem. They know first, and then the next thing, they find themselves in a particular group, they want to experience it. And then we also see that they identify with songs and other things that are making this drug culture very popular. And then you see in them physical deterioration. And then you also see a change of their behavior. A child that used to be very gentle is suddenly overly outspoken, not just outspoken, overly outspoken. And then, next slide. Yes, these are the things that you see in young people who are likely to engage in substance abuse, the risk factors, and these are the things that you see in young people who are not likely to engage in substance abuse. For the risk factors, they are usually aggressive from childhood. Now, there's also the lack of parental supervision because most parents are working. And then you do not have that person who will take good care of them as much as you would have done. And then they have poor social skills, they don't do well in school, they don't do well even among their peers, they're always at the back. And then they like to experiment with drugs. And then there is the availability of drugs, and then community poverty, you can see it's the last. It's not really a very strong factor because rich people, poor people all engage in substance abuse. Now where the rich people engage in, those that are very expensive, poor people engage in the ones that they can afford. And that is why you find them inhaling soak away, inhaling gases from gutter, from the gutter, and then from rubber, and then gum, and then any other thing that they can find that will give them the same feeling. And then in children who are not likely to engage in substance abuse, you find them having good self-control, very, very important. It's not something that you find in every children. Parental monitoring and support, we always need the support of the parents. Positive relationship where they are able to relate with other younger people in the community and even older people. They do very well in class. They, of course, associate with school anti-drug policies, and then they are the pride of their neighborhood. Not just them, but then this thing that they get from their parents. The next slide. I mentioned this earlier, we can go to the next one. There's a slide for those who have their emails. You can always mail it to them. Yes, we're interested in this part. You see, I didn't just come here to talk about this. I came here because there was a study. And the study was carried out among young people in Etiosa local government. That is a blend of the rich and the poor. That is not a slum. Now, the study found that substance abuse is very prevalent, and you can see that like 93.5% of these young people are aware of the existence of these substances. Now, the ones that more males engage in substance abuse than female, yes, they do. But you can see that the figure for the female is not that small. A lot of female children or female young people also engage in substance abuse. Sometimes they can be better than the male. I've been in a company of students where the girl won, and then we have seen a lot of pictures, videos on the social media where girls also engage in all of these things, like their own kind of competition. And I've also seen in a class where we have a population of about 140, and then more females engage in substance abuse, but then just the class. But generally, on the general scale, it's more of male than females. And then the one that is commonly abused, which of course has been confirmed by the presentation of General Buba Marwa, is in their Now you'll find it in everything that they take. You find it in monkey tail, you find it in LM, you also find it in cruises, because it is one of the things that they use, and then they combine those medications that are prescribed for certain things. Next one, and these are the sources where they get these drugs: medicine, orcas, malam, and then street guys. And then the reasons include the fact that they want to feel high, they want to cope with academic challenges, and then they also want to be bold and express themselves. Now the academic challenges is where I come in. Most times today you find students having to present in classrooms. They want to feel high enough to be able to express themselves. I don't know why they need that, because if the knowledge is there, you just need a little boldness, and that you do not get from the substance. But then, it is their own belief. Now, they also found that peer pressure, the environment, social media, lack of parental supervision, and the presence of adults or members of family who abuse substances are major factors. You can see I mentioned them earlier, but then this is from a study. And of course, there is a significant relationship between substance abuse and involvement in crime. Next one. Now, it is also important for us to note that it is not all these young people who abuse these substances that engage in crime. Not all of them. Not all of them engage in violent activities too. Some of these substances will just get them to sleep. I don't know why they need that, because you can always sleep. Now those who engage in substance abuse also find themselves involved in violence and fights, bullying, cybercrime, and that, of course, these are the people that are mostly using substance because of the kind of things that they do. Those who engage in violence and crime have the drug or the substance as the gateway to all of this. For those who engage in cybercrime, they use it because of the kind of thing that they do. They are always seated in some places, and at times they need to be awake all night. They need something to sustain that energy.